Is a fresh edition of the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video getting set for the weekend, and we're still talking about smoke and air quality and haze and how much of an impact this may or may not have on our area. So we'll get to what we think is going to happen as we go through the next 12 hours in this video. You know, yesterday it was easy to track these smoke plumes on the visible satellite picture because otherwise the sky was pretty clear. Today it's been a little bit of a different story. We have more clouds around the Great Lakes and into the northeast. So that kind of masks the smoke quite a bit. It's a little bit harder to tell where exactly the smoke is. But underneath this cloud deck, we do have plumes of smoke, especially up towards Toronto, Niagara Falls, Ottawa, heading down into parts of New England, into the mid-Atlantic states as well. Now, the good news is, if we can find some good news, the air quality has not been super crazy bad off to our north today. A lot of this smoke has not been reaching the ground with great regularity. So even though we have some smoke overhead in places, again, like Toronto, the air quality not as bad as yesterday in New York City, Philadelphia, DC, etc. This bodes well for us, I think, as we go through the next 12 to 24 hours. Yeah, we're going to have some haze and some smoke, but the kind of the worst case scenario where we get some low-hanging smoke and smoke you can smell and that sort of thing, that worst case scenario probably is not going to come to fruition, even though, some of you might be able to smell smoke and, it's certainly going to be a noticeable haze at times in the sky, but really, really big degradations in air quality, that doesn't seem as likely now, given what's happening to our north. We oftentimes refer to the Air Quality Index, or AQI, when we're talking about of course, air quality and wildfire smoke and that sort of thing. Here's kind of what all these categories mean. In most of our area, we're kind of in this zone right here, kind of in the middle zone, where people with health issues, specifically respiratory issues, definitely a good idea to limit your time outdoors. For healthy individuals, those without breathing issues or asthma and things of that nature, generally the air quality right now is fine. You don't have to, be too scared of this or anything like that. Now, if we were to go down a level to the unhealthy category, this is when, it's a good idea for everyone to limit outdoor exertion. It's not a good idea to be going out for an 8-mile run when the air quality is in that red zone or unhealthy. Now, it remains to be seen whether we'll dip into that zone over the next 24 hours. Again, I like the trends that we've seen upstream in parts of Quebec and Ontario and western New York, but we'll see. The modeling continues to kind of indicate that some near-surface smoke will come down and, envelop the region for a good chunk of Friday. But, this modeling has been a little bit too aggressive, it seems, in translating a lot of that high-altitude smoke down to the surface. So we take this with a grain of salt, even though, again, a lot of this high-resolution modeling is pretty insistent that our Friday could be pretty darn hazy and smoky at times, and maybe even we dip into the unhealthy category for that air quality index. Again, becoming more skeptical of some of these worst-case scenario ideas, but, we're going to stay vigilant and keep you up to date. And again, if you have some health issues, a good idea to just stay up on the latest. Make sure you're following us on social media, the Storm Tracker 21 app, our newscasts as well. We'll keep you in the know right through the day on Friday. Do think that the air quality will generally be fine in most areas over the weekend. Otherwise, of course, the story late in May and early in June has been the lack of rain. Today was day number 19 with no precipitation officially at the Youngstown Warren Airport in 99% of our area. We had no raindrops today. I saw 2 little raindrops on my windshield coming north on Route 11 through Columbiana County, middle of the afternoon. The first 2 little raindrops I've seen in 19 days, but that was it. Stray sprinkle was about it. So officially 19 straight days, tying the record longest streak of dryness for this time of the year. It was back in 1935. Now the all-time streak is 26 days. In October, I forget what year without the list in front of me, but it was a long time ago. We are not going to make it that far. I think the streak will extend to probably 22 days before rain pushes in finally by Sunday night and Monday. Depends on when exactly rain pushes in Sunday night. If we make it past midnight, then Sunday will count as a dry day. It happens that I do have the list in front of me now. I forgot that I put it in my lineup this evening. It was back in 1963, in October of 1963. 25 days. I think we could get to 23. So today was 19, so 20 on Friday, 21 Saturday, 22 on Sunday. So I think we'll get to 22, unless the rain pushes in before midnight Sunday night. So we'll make it into the top 8, and certainly the longest streak for this time of the year. These dry streaks much more common in the fall season, as we've been talking about many times of late. All right, it's Thursday, so we got an update from the U.S. Drought Monitor, and big explosion of moderate drought designations today in Ohio and Pennsylvania. In fact, in Ohio, over 60% of the state now is in a moderate drought. And actually the number's pretty similar in Pennsylvania, about 65-ish% of Pennsylvania now in a moderate drought. And we've gone from no abnormally dry conditions to a moderate drought in 62% of the state in just a handful of weeks. Almost what we sometimes call a flash drought. It's been very dry statewide now for about 3 weeks. And that's resulted in only 2% of the state having no drought, no abnormally dry designation as of today's update. We'll get another update. Next Thursday. All right. As far as our Friday goes, pretty similar day to today, in that maybe there's a renegade sprinkle, especially in Pennsylvania. Otherwise, no big deal. Haze and smoke will be a possibility, and it remains a possibility that it could be pretty thick at times in the morning. We'll just see how it goes. High pressure pays us a brief visit, though, as we head into the weekend, so it's going to warm up, and overall, pretty nice weekend. We've slowed down the arrival on the rain, so I think we'll be dry through the daylight hours Sunday, and probably it'll be at some point Sunday night that rain pushes in. But overall, though, this is a pretty nice weekend. We really need the rain, of course, but a couple of nice weekend days, 80 on Saturday and 83 on Sunday. The rain showers push in Sunday night, continue into the day on Monday, maybe mostly in the morning on Monday. Our rainfall expectations on some of our medium range models, this is encouraging. 1/2 inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch between Sunday night and Monday, and there probably will be a few more opportunities for some wet weather next week. Long-range temperature trends heading in the upward direction as we go towards the following weekend, Father's Day weekend, about 9 or 10 days from now. I think we're going to see some 80s returning and maybe even flirting with 90, maybe, before next weekend is through. But yeah, another cool down is coming our way early in the week. We'll spend Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday below average before the warm-up kicks in later in the week. All right, no weather for Weather Geeks on Friday. Again, I've got Fridays off for the next handful of weeks, so we won't be doing Weather Geeks on Fridays until sometime later in July, probably the middle of July. So thank you as always for watching tonight and all this week. I will have your updated forecast tonight on 21 News at 11, and you can grab that anytime, of course, on the Storm Tracker 21 app.